tusimame pamoja kulinda uhuru na umoja wetu. Enyi Bwana na binti wa Afrika, mwili wa jua, mwili wa anga, tuifanye Afrika mti wa uzima. Tuungane sote tuimbe pamoja, kuenzi shikamano hatima yetu. Tujitoe wenyewe kupambana pamoja, uhuru na umoja vitawale. Enyi Bwana na binti wa Afrika, mwili wa jua, mwili wa anga, tuifanye Afrika mti wa uzima. Tuungane sote na tujibidishe kutoa kilicho bora kwa Afrika, chimbuko la wanadamu, chemchemi ya utamaduni, tumaini letu wakati wa mafarakano. Enyi Bwana na binti wa Afrika, mwili wa jua, mwili wa anga, tuifanye Afrika mti wa uzima.
Welcome to Human TV Africa. You are right here watching Human TV Africa. My name is Katom Kasta. I'm a Ugandan lawyer interested in issues, human rights, of course, issues development, issues economics, and of course, issues to do with progress of humanity, of the human race, wherever you are. This is Human TV Africa. I want to encourage you to please subscribe to it. Our channel is Human TV Africa. Please subscribe right there. YouTube channel and also our Facebook name is Human TV Africa. Please subscribe. Go there, look for the button, and then hit it. Subscribe. Be able to see the over 400 beautiful videos we have made for you. Beautiful shows right there on Human TV Africa. And please remember to share. And also write to us. Our email is info@humantvafrica.com. Write to us. Our email is info@humantvafrica.com. info@humantvafrica.com. Our WhatsApp name, our WhatsApp number is +254 747356767. And of course, our spokesperson will be able to speak with you, Brian Kabeko, right there in Kenya. You may want to work with us. We are looking for volunteers. We are looking for presenters, panelists, researchers. Our department for research needs a lot of teamwork. We need news anchors. We need people who can be panelists, who can be hosts. Wherever you are, whatever country you are in Indonesia, you are in Malaysia, you are in Singapore, China, Japan, you are most welcome here. You are in India, you are in the US, you are in the UK, you are in any country in Europe. We are opening doors to everyone to join us. Remember, we have physical studios in Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania. Now we have physical studios in Uganda, Kenya, Zambia, Zimbabwe, Sierra Leone, and of course, Nigeria and Ghana, UK and US, and we're opening up more studios. Today's show is about human rights and specifically the right to employment. Specifically, we are looking at the right to employment. Remember, I'm talking about Uganda today. That's why I showed you those photos, those images about Uganda. Being a Ugandan, I'm very concerned about my country. Uganda has 45 million people, going by the rough estimates, but World Bank and IMF are giving us interesting results on our unemployment level. Brian, we're going to make a bit of change in the word employment there on the screen. Please do that correction. Human Rights Watch Uganda, I told you World Bank, IMF, International Monetary Fund, are saying that according to statistics done in Uganda, our 45 million people, out of them, 78% are young people. Meaning, there are people between 12 years and 35 years. I'm above 40 years, so I'm not a young person in Uganda. Now, World Bank says, according to the December 2023 results, World Bank says that between 12 to 35 years are Ugandans that are making 78% of our population. But again, World Bank says that in that population, 70% of them are unemployed. World Bank says that 70% of that youthful population is unemployed. When you make simple calculations, those are 19 million Ugandans unemployed. I repeat it for you. 19 million Ugandans, according to World Bank statistics, are unemployed. Remember, we are 45 million people. Now, when you look at the statistics, look at 19 million Ugandans not employed, and you have 45 million people. Now, the question will be, how many Ugandans are employed? Again, World Bank gives us statistics, and IMF and other institutions, they are saying that only 18 million Ugandans are employed. Only 18 million Ugandans are employed. Now, you have officially 19 million people not employed, but only 18 million Ugandans are employed. And where are they employed? The service sector takes the biggest share. The service sector, IT, service sector, basically, people in offices, people employed by government, takes the biggest sector. People employed by NGOs, private companies, service sector takes over 50% of our employed people. Now, if our employed are 18 million people, 50% are employed in the service sector, which means those are 9 million Ugandans who are employed in the service sector, which includes NGOs, private companies, public companies, ministries, and all those things. They take 9 million Ugandans. Now, where is the rest employed? 24% of that population of 18 million people are employed in agriculture. Agriculture takes 24%. Surprisingly, yet agriculture is the backbone of Uganda, but it's only taking 24%. Now go back to mathematics and calculate that and see how many millions are into agriculture. Out of the 8 left, now divide it and give it to 24%. Then the rest goes where? Industry. Industry is taking another 25%. Now, industry, agriculture, and service sector. 3 main sectors in Uganda are employing people. And the employed are only 18 million people. The unemployed are how many? 19 million Ugandans. Now what's happening? Graduate unemployment in Uganda is at its highest ever. Graduate unemployment in Uganda is at its highest level ever. What has happened today is that, as I'm going to be showing you some photos, is that people have resorted going to become slaves, modern day slaves in Arabic countries. I'm going to be showing you images of our girls, our sisters going to work as slaves, as maids in Arab countries. Now you can imagine you have 19 million unemployed people. Where do they go? Those who can manage it are going abroad to work under very hard conditions. As slaves, I call them modern day slaves, including going into forced prostitution. To make matters worse, human trafficking has increased. Now, what is the law talking about all this? There are three laws I want to quote today. Number one, the Constitution of Uganda, Article 40 of the Constitution of Uganda gives us a right to employment and the right to a conducive work environment, a safe, free work environment. Article 40 of Uganda's Constitution. And of course, Chapter 4 of Uganda's Constitution, we call it the Bill of Rights. Go read the Bill of Rights, Chapter 4. The entire Chapter 4 is giving us rights, including the right for employment, the right to employment, the right to work. A right to work and a decent kind of job is a human right. It's not a favor. It's a human right. Now, apart from the Constitution, we have the Employment Rights Act of 1996. The Employment Rights Act. Look at Section 16 and look at Section 6 and Section 11. It gives you what it is that it must safeguard the work. Of course, it's quite big, but I'm simply giving you a few sections in the Employment Rights Act. Again, look at another act, which is the Employment Act, which is a bit older, but also revised in 2006 as amended. And look at Section 58 of the Employment Act of Uganda. All these acts, among others, gives a Ugandan citizen a right to employment. And not only employment, but a safer environment to employment. Whenever Ugandan is, whether Ugandan is in Saudi Arabia, as a Kadam, as we call them, or in Dubai, or in Yemen, or in wherever they are, as maids, our constitution gives them a right to be protected. But what's happening today? Our government is not protecting our girls, our sisters beyond Uganda. They are being murdered, they are being killed, they are being raped, they are being done so many crimes. Yet they remain citizens of Uganda. Now, having talked about the laws, the economy, how it is standing, and the influx next of people coming outside Uganda, entering Uganda, and of course taking over even the small opportunities Ugandans would have got. For example, I'm going to be showing you images on the screen. You see Chinese in Uganda doing hawking. For those of you who know hawking, someone gets a bottle of soda and goes selling it in traffic jam. And these are Chinese investors that are doing jobs that will be done by the lowest paid local person. Now, Chinese leaving China because of unemployment in China and coming to Uganda to do such manual work, as we're going to be saying in the photos. Now, here is the issue. The right to employment is a universal right. That's why all countries work hard to ensure that people are given this right. Remember, government may be the biggest employer, but government cannot employ everyone. There's no country where the government employs everyone. That country is not there. The government is supposed to put there a conducive environment. The government is supposed to support entrepreneurs start businesses. The government is supposed to protect homegrown industries, homegrown companies, so that foreign investors don't kill homegrown companies. The government is supposed to protect NGOs to provide jobs, private investors to provide jobs. Is the government of Uganda doing this? The answer is not to my satisfaction. The taxes are so much. Remember, when there are so many taxes, the employees are going to have fewer workers. And at the same time, the cost of production is high in Uganda. Again, it goes back to government to do subsidies. Because remember, when the cost of production is high, I'm going to employ few workers. And to make matters worse, Uganda has no minimum wage. To my understanding, Kenya has this kind of wage. There's a bit of a minimum wage in some of these countries in East Africa, but Uganda does not have a bare minimum. It means that someone can give you a job, but still underpays you. And this is absurd. Now we're going to be having a view of the photos very, very fast, and you see what I'm talking about in Uganda. There's so much unemployment. That's why people are always up in arms protesting. A politician comes and pulls the crowd because 19 million Ugandans don't have jobs. So a politician can easily pull crowds because people are not employed. In the UK, we never see people come simply on the streets to do nothing and look at a politician. The prime minister will pass by, no one will bother because people are busy. So even politicians pulling crowds is a sign of unemployment in Uganda. Brian, please let us look at these photos and then we conclude the show. Photos of unemployment in Uganda, and of course, photos to summarize what I've been talking about. Brian in the studio is going to be showing us these images very fast, very, very fast. Brian, you can see politicians come. You can see how busy Uganda is. Look at that street and look at the number of people in the middle of a street. Those people are part of the 19 million people who are not employed. That's why they can come in the city and idle around. They have nothing to do. 19 million Ugandans. You look at that kind of convoy. Does it mean that they love this guy? No, not that much. They don't have what to do. So anything that can attract them, they are going to go there. See all those images. These people are idle because if they were so busy, they wouldn't have been there. Oh, women want trips to Dubai. You know, all these protests show you how discontent people are in Uganda. They're unemployed and the taxes are high. Politicians are taking advantage of our unemployed youth because they're available. They're available to be used. They're available to be used because they are desperate. So politician easily gets the following why. People are free. They have nothing to do. Keep on running the photos, my friend. Keep on running the photos as I explained to them. You see, a politician simply pops in a city and hundreds of people come. Why? They have no job. That's the photo. We can give it a second, Brian. That is the photo got from Uganda today. From Uganda as I speak today. An Indian, no, a Chinese guy hawking a bottle of soda which costs less than a quarter a pound, and is selling, and is an investor, is in the middle of a road selling a bottle of soda. Now he leaves China to go to Uganda to go on the streets and sell a bottle of soda. Now that is unemployment. That even if foreigners make it worse for the local citizens. They are coming to Uganda to invest, but instead of investing, they're actually checking the available jobs. Brian, next photo. This was very remarkable. Now, this photo is very inspiring. I got it from Benin. A girl called Lydia. She's a university student, but decides to hawk products to get her school fees. Why do I bring this photo? To inspire people in Uganda, young people in Uganda to learn to work, to love to work, regardless. Then Brian continued. She's the one there. She's a university student hawking products in the streets of Benin. And that is very good. Look at this. Now we're looking for a way forward. How do we beat unemployment? Let us be practical. This lady here, this young woman here is a mechanic. And this is inspiration. We are encouraging young people in Uganda and in Africa to go vocational. Please go get a skill. That is me in my land. I'm having some bit of land in Uganda and I've been using my land to dig. That is me in my land. I dig. Oh, that is my land, by the way. And I dig it. I do farm it. And I encourage young people to go farming. Regardless of your degrees, have your food, dig your food. Now, these are people we help at my vocational training college, which is PAL. We help them to make handmade products. Why do I bring these photos? To inspire people watching this. This is our demonstrator at PAL. I'm not making cakes, and we teach women and our students make cakes. These are our students at PAL building. They are learning how to build. Women into construction. We motivate them to be able to sustain themselves as a people in Uganda. One of the guys there are doing farming and producing tomatoes. This is what we are encouraging people to do. Remember, these are the girls I'm talking about, Ugandans that go abroad each day. We have over 3 million Ugandans abroad, only in Middle East, doing manual jobs. Human trafficking has been on the increase, that about 1 million people have been trafficked out of Uganda as we speak. Human trafficking, you can see them at the airport. They are being smuggled, being taken out. And human trafficking is happening in Uganda in broad daylight. These are our girls going to work as maids in Arabic countries. This is the airport of Uganda, and they are living freely, living because 19 million Ugandans don't have what to do. 19 million Ugandans have no job. So human trafficking is a very sad thing that we are doing an awareness campaign as Human's TV Africa to talk about this. Unemployment gives you stress, gives you sickness, gives you tiredness, the bills to pay, the debt, the work, all these anxieties, late nights, fear, all these anxieties come because of this stress that comes with having no job, and this is how bad it is in my country. Unemployment is on the increase, and we are calling upon the government of Uganda to, of course, think about providing more opportunities, reducing on taxes, giving incentives, calling investors that can actually help us grow, than investors that can come and actually compete with local people. These are issues Brian have been able to talk about today. Back to me. Thank you so much for this brief show. Today it has been unemployment. I was talking about rights and duties of citizens in Uganda and in Africa. It's your right to have a job. But remember, the government may not give you this job because the government can only employ, for example, 500,000 people in Uganda. The government cannot employ everyone. The government can simply create an conducive environment, attract investors, not hawkers we have seen in the photos. Use the Employment Act, use the Employment Rights Act, use our constitution to fight for these rights. Please, this is a human right that is given to all of us to work. Let us have a minimum wage where people are not being cheated, where everyone can give you any amount of money and then you work because you are desperate. Remember, a right to employment is not negotiable. But I'm calling upon Ugandans and Africans to be job creators. Not all of us are going to be employed. Some of us are going to create these jobs because it's possible. Governments elsewhere are helping their citizens to create jobs because, as I said, the government cannot employ everyone. But the government must provide a conducive environment to provide these jobs. As I speak, the employment bill has been passed as amended and is awaiting the president's signature. Maybe in this bill, we may see a minimum wage being passed in Uganda, because we've been asking for a minimum wage. Even when it's small, let us know that this is the beginning for payment. If I'm working for salary, I shouldn't get below this, and we are calling upon the government of Uganda to consider protecting our citizens outside Uganda, because as we speak, they are not protected. They are looking for employment because, remember I said, 19 million Ugandans are not employed. So they seek it outside Uganda. So we shall continue using this TV to talk about rights. I want to encourage you to please continue sharing our videos. Please continue contacting us. We are looking for volunteers to work with us. This is a TV station that is here for you. Thank you so much for being a good audience. See you in the next Human Rights Watch episode when I get back here. See you. Thanks so much for watching, and thank you so much for following and sharing Human TV Africa. See you in the next one.
tusimame pamoja kulinda uhuru na umoja wetu. Enyi bwana na binti wa Afrika, mwili wa jua, mwili wa anga, tuifanye Afrika mti wa uzima. Tuungane sote tuimbe pamoja, kuenzi shikamano hatima yetu. Tujitoe wenyewe kupambana pamoja, uhuru na umoja vitawale. Enyi bwana na binti wa Afrika, mwili wa jua, mwili wa anga, tuifanye Afrika mti wa uzima. Tuungane sote na tujibidishe kutoa kilicho bora kwa Afrika, chimbuko la wanadamu, chemchemi ya